Hello everyone, this is ponderonweather coming at you with another update. In this update, we're going to be talking about the upcoming snowstorm as well as your weekly outlook so you can plan your week ahead. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's get started. Let's start off with my very exciting new Patreon page. You can find it on patreon.com/palponder. So on there, you'll have like exclusive perks, new kind of my latest and greatest content and just kind of extra perks in general. So go check it out. And I'll have that in the description below, where you can also find some of my affiliates that I'm affiliated with. I've got rain gauges, I've got weather stations, I've got weather radios, as well as emergency kits for your car. So go check that out as well. So right now, I kind of want to give you an overall outlook of your current weekly planner, but here is your temperatures, your North American, over the last 90 days. We're coming up in the last week of meteorology winter. We only have a week left, and essentially starts on December 1st and it ends on March 1st. And so out of those 90 days so far through Monday, the 22nd, with still a week left, we can see, up in Canada, we had well above average temperatures. So these are your average highs and average lows, so your mean temperatures over the last 90 days. And it's been fairly warm on average in Canada, as well as Alaska. But if you turn down here in the United States, you can see it's been, above average for our northern tiers of the central U.S. and then getting up into parts of New England and the Northeast. But if you turn down to the south into Texas and to Oklahoma and to Missouri and the midsection of the country, a lot of it had to do with the big Arctic outbreak we just went through. But overall, we've been below average in that part of the country. And then Florida started off chilly. They had their 20th, coldest, beginning of winter on record. And now it's been above average. But if you average that out, it's been pretty much a normal winter in Florida, and it's been a little bit above average in parts of the southwest here, as well as a little bit below average in Oregon. So that's kind of interesting how this winter has actually played out so far, and we still have a week left. So let me go over your weekly outlook and how this is going to set up. Right now, this is Monday. These are afternoon temperatures as well as surface maps. So we had that developing, upcoming snowstorm in the Northeast. It's going to be kind of winding itself down later on today. That's going to be bringing some more snow for places into Jersey, into Philly, into New York City, going into portions of New York. And then we've got that atmospheric river that's just been kind of just inundated for portions of Oregon and to Washington, and then just very dry in California. So this has been just kind of a known pattern over the last several weeks and into the last month, if that, of it just coming across into the Northwest, and that's why it's been so active up in this part of the country. But here's your temperatures. And so these are your afternoon temperatures for Monday this afternoon. And you can see things are kind of rebounding. I mean, it was just very cold for much of the South all last week, and things have turned around in a big way. Now we're back into the 50s and 60s down to the South. We've got 40s up along the coast and Portland and Oregon. And you can almost see where the snow is going to be flying this afternoon, and to where these, dipping down into freezing temperatures into portions of the Four Corners regions, as well as the Northeast, predominantly in the 30s for your upcoming afternoon temperatures for Monday. So, but as we get into Tuesday, that one system moves off the Northeast. We do have another clipper system that's coming in, bringing some more snows into New York, getting into the Adirondacks, into Vermont and New Hampshire. And then we'll have another system off the Pacific Northwest, again, where it's just been inundated with that atmospheric river, dumping some more rain into Seattle and Portland areas. and then transfer into all snow and heavy snow, if that, in the mountains of Washington, especially as you get into Idaho, then get it into Montana with some very heavy snow. And this will kind of linger and elongate into portions of the Dakotas, into Minnesota as well for your Tuesday afternoon. And your temperatures will even rebound a little bit even higher. For the deep south, we'll probably get 60s. These are your noontime temperatures on Tuesdays. So yeah, we'll probably top out to near 70 degrees in much of these areas down here in the south and the southeast, predominantly hugging the coast with these warmer temperatures. But you can definitely see some colder air, where the colder air is going to be predominantly in the mountains regions, as this temperature tends to modify by then. But by Thursday, things start to get active again somewhat as this system kind of moves across into the northeast again. We start to turn our attention over here into the Four Corners regions of Utah, Colorado, getting into portions of southern Idaho, where we do have a developing low pressure, and that's going to be dragging down some colder air aloft, and these will drop down these temperatures and drag kind of the snow line a little bit further south now, into portions of Arizona, getting into portions of New Mexico as we get deeper into your day on Wednesday. And then your temperatures reflect that as well. So you can kind of definitely see some of the colder temperatures penetrating from in the northwest, with 20s out here in Oregon, 29 up on the higher elevation, say in Flagstaff, Arizona. And then getting into widespread 20s and freezing temperatures for Idaho, where that low pressure is really traversing across into Colorado. And you can definitely see teens starting to show up. And these are afternoon temperatures on the 24th now, as that low will continue trying to dive down to the southeast, heading towards portions of the Texas panhandle. And then ahead of it, you got milder temperatures down to the south, as it definitely kind of moderates in the Ohio Valley into the northeast. And all your colder air is bottled up in Canada right now, but that will kind of start to make its way further south as we get later on in the week. But as we go into Thursday, definitely that northwest flow becomes more active. We'll have some of your heavier snows starting to fly right by then, as we tap into that lower pressure off the northwest coast. And then as it kind of dives down, all this area in the south and southeast will be, kind of above average for most of the week of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So by the time Thursday rolls around, that'll have plenty of moisture to tap into, and that'll transfer to a pretty good rain setup for portions of Texas, and that will get into Louisiana, Mississippi, going into Alabama, into Arkansas, getting into Tennessee for your day on Thursday as we go into Friday. And that colder air will definitely start to drag down. That'll push the snow line almost to the Texas panhandle, but some of your heavier snows will set up by then into New Mexico and to southern Colorado, especially in the higher elevations in the mountain regions by Thursday. And here's your afternoon temperatures. You can definitely see where that colder air is going to be setting up off the Pacific Northwest. We do have that one clipper system, kind of a colder push from Canada, dragging down those afternoon temperatures on Thursday afternoon down to freezing, getting into Minnesota, getting into Wisconsin here and Michigan, and all up your upper regions of the Northeast will be below freezing for your afternoon temperatures, and then kind of moderating a little bit further south into Kansas and Missouri and say Illinois area, and then obviously well above average in Florida, where they just never tapped into that Arctic air at all. And so by Friday, you can definitely see that active pattern still continues with your heavier snows. You're going to be picking up some really healthy snowfalls this week of upwards to 2 to 3 feet in some of these areas of Idaho and Montana. And that will moderate a little bit, but still some heavier snows, especially in northern Utah, getting into northern Utah here, and then getting into portions of Colorado, but well to the south. I mean, we'll start to pick up some heavier rains, if not almost flooding rains at times, as we'll have plenty of warm air to tap into. Then it'll turn to kind of a chilly rain as this low pressure is underneath. I mean, last week when we had a low pressure underneath, we had all that Arctic air to tap into, and a lot of this was actually snowfall and ice. But now that temperatures has moderated a lot, and it'll just be a chilly rain. Now we're talking in the 50s and lower 60s, which is a chillier rain for portions of the southeast. And as this continues moving on into Tennessee and into Kentucky, those chillier rains will continue into your Friday afternoon. And so by your Friday, you can definitely see some of your afternoon temperatures in your 50s and your 40s in this part of the country where it is going to be raining, where the snow is going to fly. You're going to be below freezing, with even teens showing up in Colorado, and then definitely another clipper system that comes through on Friday afternoon with some of your colder temperatures, freezing temperatures, daily freezing temperatures into parts of New England, into the Northeast. By then, it's fairly dry in the midsection of the country. But by Saturday, you can definitely see that system will kind of traverse across down to the south. This is by Saturday the 27th. We're getting towards the end of the month by now. And that system will swing across, still amplifying the rains for your southeast regions. Then it'll be where that colder air will be able to tap into. You'll have some of that rain transfer into some snow showers into portions of the Northeast again, adding to those totals. So you'll have some snow coming in today, you'll have more snow coming in on Tuesday, and then you'll have more snow coming in on Saturday for the Northeast for this upcoming week. And as we go into your Saturday afternoon temperatures, you can definitely see where the below average temperatures kind of hangs around. I mean, not too below average, but we are still below average, because average temperatures are right around in the low 60s for this part of the country by now, as we get towards the first week and at the end of the February. But you can definitely see as we turn to the north by Saturday, now we're actually seeing some Arctic air trying to show its head up in Canada, where we got below zero temperature starting to show up in sight in the central Canada here, with some -2, some -15s, -18 degrees below zero, and that colder air will try to push further south, especially as we get into Sunday. But by Sunday, yeah, those rains will be amplified over those same regions. So you're talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we got some pretty healthy rains coming up for portions of the south and the southeast for your end of the week, and it'll definitely try to moderate by then, but bringing some of those snows where that colder air was able to tap into, especially in the higher elevations, and Arizona, getting into portions of Nevada here. You'll start to see some of your heavier snows filtering in by then. So now let's take a look at your temperatures by Sunday. You can definitely see things start to moderate somewhat a little bit further down to the south, but now the colder air will try to penetrate by the end of the month a little bit further south. So these are your afternoon temperatures coming up on the 28th by Sunday, and you can definitely see those negative temperatures try to push a little bit further south into northern portions of Dakotas, into Minnesota, but definitely widespread 20s filtering down into Colorado, getting into Nebraska by then, going into Iowa again, as we end the month on a fairly chilly side. And that, I think that just continues a little bit further south as we go into March 1st and 2nd. So, but if your overall snowfall outlook for the next week, here's your setup. And so you got those several systems that come across into to the Northeast. We've got, here's your graph here at the bottom, so you can definitely see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches in parts of the Dakotas, get into Minnesota, and a little bit heavier amounts as we go into Wisconsin, especially into Michigan, with some lake-enhanced induced snowfall and that will just extend into your northeast regions, into Pennsylvania. We'll try to bring some snow for you guys in North Carolina, but again, I think it's still going to be in your higher elevations here, especially into Virginia, and then getting into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and then up along the coast, probably a good 2 to 4, probably 2 to 5 inches, but a little bit heavier amounts further inland. And man, you just get walloped here in the Pacific Northwest, especially in the mountain regions. I mean, looking at the graph here, you're talking 2 to 3 feet easily in these areas as we get into the mountains of Washington, especially in the mountains of Idaho, and then getting into Montana, and then even pretty good healthier amounts into portions of Utah as well. A good 6 to 8 inches, especially in the north side as we go throughout the week, and that will traverse across into portions of Wyoming as well as Colorado. Definitely some healthier snows, as this part of the country predominantly sees your highest snowfalls by then, especially into Colorado. I mean, Colorado's your snowiest month would be March, so some of your higher totals are just ahead. But here's your rain. I mean, here's your liquid precipitation for the next week, and you can definitely kind of hear the standouts into the south and the southeast. We're right around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Anywhere from 2 to 3 inches is not out of the question from Thursday through Sunday. Predominantly, this is all going to be a Thursday through Sunday event. Getting into Arkansas, where you've got just walloped with snow. Now you're going to be walloped with rain. Getting into Arkansas, getting into Mississippi and Alabama, going into Tennessee, into Kentucky, into Virginia, as well as Virginia. So you'll have some warmer temperatures to tap into, and that'll increase these rain rates this week, and here's the Pacific Northwest as well. I mean, you'll have some heavier rains. A lot of this will be snow, but definitely rain along the coast for you guys in, say, Seattle and to Portland. And they definitely high and dry into California and to Nevada and to Arizona and into portions of New Mexico. Yeah, you're going to be hit with a little bit of snow in northern New Mexico, but most of the city is going to be dry, especially as you get into El Paso. So I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.